everybody, this is Toulon, little town in Illinois, and this is our dear customer, Jim McMillan. Jim bought ADS 200 CDC, the one with the cyclone, a while back, right?
Yes.
So would you want us to see your operation?
Yeah, I can
let's
show you
go.
a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, let's see what's going on.
Super happy with how this worked out. Still have some fine tuning, of course, yet to do, but this machine is really going to help just make things more consistent and just speed up our process for all the growing demand. So stay tuned for more things to come.
Okay, that's a famous barn right here.
This is the famous barn.
As far as acreage, like how many acres you grow?
Because we have conventional farming operations, I wanted to be able to use the equipment that we already had. So that was kind of like a bonus in terms of kind of what crop I wanted to pick. So we've been growing corn forever. I'm like, great, we've got all the equipment to grow crops or to grow corn. So just out north of here outside of the barn, we have a field and there's a waterway that runs through it. And there was just a little irregular patch that was about 5 acres. So
Okay.
I thought, why not? That won't interrupt their operations. I can do a little farm, a little 5 acres with what I've got there, and then I can always kind of grow from there.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And as far as bushels or like how you go kilos, bushels, you're bagging yourself, right?
Yes, yeah. So since I bag it myself, I kind of figure it a little different ways. I'm not so concerned on production. My whole goal is to just sell everything that I have. And then if I can sell out every year, then I can just continuously grow from there. The advantage that I have of selling directly to consumers is I don't have to worry about any of the middlemen costs that are along with that. So I can make a higher margin selling directly to consumers, so I don't have to produce as much popcorn to make the same revenue that I want to make.
Right. Well, totally makes sense. I always encourage my customers to cut middleman and earn it all and put it in your pocket because, I mean, it's fair. You as a farmer are dealing with so much during the year,
Oh, yeah.
With so many challenges and whole year you're working hard and then just give away your profits. It's not really the right thing to do. So when you kind of cut middleman and clean your own product, this way you can get a top dollar for it.
Correct.
It's always smart to do, definitely.
Correct. And you even see that trend in conventional agriculture too, where farmers are putting up more bins on their property to store the grain so that they can sell it when the price is highest. It just makes sense.
Totally, absolutely. I want to ask you about your YouTube channel. Hope you don't mind.
Oh.
Yeah, because first, I always kind of look through our customers and see, what interesting cases we have, because a lot of times, not just the farmer, but also have some kind of personality, doing something else. Somebody doing souvenirs, and other people, running their own blogs and this and that. And I saw that you running your YouTube channel, and it's called Lucky Dirt.
Yeah, so I named my company Lucky Dirt. Growing up in sales and marketing, so I have that kind of expertise. Being in a farming community, I knew that I couldn't farm any better than anybody else around there, but I did have that marketing experience that I can lean on. So I had come up with the name like a long time ago, even before I even had a business. I just kind of fell into that name. But Lucky Dirt is that combination or that intersection where preparation meets opportunity, which is kind of where farming is. We're always like preparing and being ready and prepared. And then when the timing is right or the weather is right or whatever it is, that's kind of when you take advantage of that. So that's how I kind of came up with the name.
So pretty much that's the same name you're going to see on your popcorn as well. And okay.
Yes. Okay.
So your YouTube channel dedicated to your company. And mostly, what is the mission of it?
It's really interesting. So, I grew up on a farm, and I don't care where I've been in the world. I, traveled a lot and stuff. I've always had those farming roots. And I've always tried to figure out some way to kind of get back to that. And along the way, I'd also kind of gotten involved in mission work. I don't know, one day I was just having breakfast with a mentor friend and it just kind of clicked. It was like after COVID, I was in a business development job and had gotten laid off, and the idea had just kind of come of like, oh my gosh, I could do the mission work that I'm doing along with like farming and like create a business around that.
For
like,
sure.
I was just like, oh, hello, where was that idea all this time? So that's kind of where it came together. And so not only do I have the farming aspect of it and the organic part of it and taking care of the land and, just the stewardship and everything that farming encompasses, but then I've got the missional aspect of it where helping court-involved youth and people that are currently incarcerated, Christian, and so I believe in God, and so just trying to help others just rise above their circumstance. So it was just kind of this nice balance between farming, rural farming,
right,
and the problems of a large urban environment with just crime and poverty and all those things. So it was just a nice combination of the two.
Right. Yeah. I feel like, you see, when you're close to the ground, like to the field, or you get to play with the nature, with the soil, you kind of grounded, in a way you feel more stable. But people in urban, it's so much going on, they get lost a lot of times. And it's amazing that you want to help. Your mission is pretty much help those who lost in that urban craziness. As far as crop, how's crop here? Like how you grow it? So am I understanding you don't use much fertilizers and chemicals?
Yeah, so in this area of the country that we're in, we're blessed with really good soil. So dark, rich, just really good soil. If we're growing conventional crops, they do put on fertilizer in the spring and then later on in the growing season and keeping up with those current trends. Farming organically, I do put organic manure down. Mm-hmm. So growing up on a farm, we have some animals. They always kind of produce
makes sense.
waste that we can use. So I'm like, all right, well, I even have fertilizer I can use.
For sure.
So that brings its own set of challenges, applying it to the land and all of that. But it's simple in its process, just like your own garden. You till the soil, you put the seeds in, you put some fertilizer, you try to keep the weeds out, try to keep the animals out, and then you get a product in the end.
Right.
It's no different between a home garden and 160 acres.
Yeah, it's just much more.
The process is still the same. So
I got you. Okay, and as far as crop goes, like, do you still insure the crop? Or how that type of business work?
Yeah, so for me, I don't have crop insurance because I've only got 5 acres. The cost to insure that land isn't really worth it. Mm-hmm. When my company grows enough to the point where I'm selling out every year, then I may consider it, depending. But right now, I just, it's just up to, whatever happens.
Right, I got you. Okay, because I know a lot of Oklahoma, Kansas was struggling without the rain. How's the situation here in Illinois?
For this year was really scary. So I even planted my popcorn a little bit earlier this year because last year there were some stresses in the corn during pollination.
Right.
A lot of this is really technical, but you farmer folks will get it. But there were some stresses during pollination, so I wanted to plant it a little bit earlier in the year so that when it was pollinating, it wasn't during the absolute brutal heat of the summertime. And it's a balancing act because growing organically, I can't treat the seed, so I have to wait until the weather conditions are conducive to being able to plant it. And then after we did plant it, we had a dry spell going into that, so it was great planting conditions. But then we didn't get rain for 40 days straight. Mm-hmm. It was really scary.
That even surprised me more that you were able to actually invest in your own machinery to develop and to deliver good final product to the consumer. Because how cost effective that's for you? the investing in something, and clean yourself?
Oh, sure. So it's funny, when I started this process, I always got a lot of questions from my, family, like, well, how do you do that? And why are you doing it that way? And all. But in terms of, time management, so when you go and buy popcorn at the store, when you open the bag, every kernel looks uniform. Everything is absolutely clean.
Right.
And so I'll show you a sample of what my raw product looks like.
Please.
And so when when you're kind of comparing the two and you're trying to get to that, I had to do it by hand, so I understood the process. Mm-hmm. So for these first couple of years, I've hand-touched almost like every single kernel in every single bag.
Wow.
But I learned early on that I have to take myself out of the operation side of it.
To grow.
Because correct. I basically had two choices to go, and there's not a wrong decision. You either invest in machines that can do it, mechanically for you, or you have to invest in labor to do it by hand, and you just have to duplicate yourself. In the area that we lived in, I didn't have that labor force kind of opportunity.
Right.
So, plus I have more of a mechanical bent anyway, so it was easier for me to understand machines.
And sometimes machines are more reliable.
They are.
They don't oversleep. They don't get sick.
That's right. You tell them what they do, and they do that same thing every single time. You don't have to worry about it. And especially if I'm selling a product directly to consumer. Now, the only insurance that I do have is liability insurance on that back end.
Right.
So if anything happens in that scenario, that's the part that I have covered.
I got you. Okay, make total sense. Okay, and I see you have a back of your lovely product here.
I do. Here. We'll cut for a second and let me get a sample of the rough stuff, and then I can.
Sure.
We can segue into that.
That's amazing. I'm pretty sure kids have no idea how that popcorn gets there.
So there's cob in there, there's pieces of stalk, or this could even be like weed stuff. You'll even find little pieces of dirt in there.
Right.
That's probably just a kernel that got deformed or things like that.
Uh-huh.
So these are the things that I had to sort out by hand.
Oh, wow.
I've got 16,000 pounds of popcorn, and to sort out one kernel, it's like literally the needle in the haystack. So
I don't know.
I know I couldn't do that.
That's true.
But this is what it looks like from an organic standpoint in its purest state. See, there's even a piece of conventional dent corn in there. All of this has to clean out before I can get to this. So this is the final packaged product.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, and
it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Well packaged, and thank you for growing organic.
So what I do is I store all my popcorn in the bin because I feel it's safer there than in bags lying around.
Right.
And so then the nice thing about my grain cleaner and stuff is that I can even batch process. Like I don't have to set it up and harvest in the fall and then do everything all at once. I can put it in the bin and then monitor my moisture and make sure that I've got my moisture where I want it to be. And then I can process it a batch at a time as orders come in and orders that I need to fill.
Oh, wow. Quite the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot more than I thought when I got into it, for sure.
Listen, I always say I appreciate my customers so much because somebody have to do this business, and it's not easy as business. It's so much you have to deal with whole year round. So, I think I'm in best business and I'm with best people, because they, farmer carry on their shoulders a lot. And it's constant between weather changes and market prices and everything what's going on, like insects, animals, you name it. And practically you could make money million easiest way.
Correct.
But, it's have to be a mission, I guess. It's something behind it, not just grow. It's really a mission. You know what I mean?
Correct.
And I love it. I think it's amazing. As far as the operation, any difficulties or maybe anything ever broken, give you a headache, durability questions?
Like I said, this machine is built really well. It's built really solid with good quality components, and I turn it on and start it up, and I know what to expect from it every single time. There typically isn't a hiccup. I like the fact that it actually has with the grain cleaner, it actually has a cleaning cycle to it. So you have it built in so that you can reverse the fan, and then it helps to just clean and cycle it out.
Right.
There's other cleaning ducts on the other side in addition to this one that captures all the big stuff. So we showed you that red bucket of corn earlier.
Right.
And this is all the stuff that's hiding in there that you can't see, really.
Right.
It doesn't look quite so bad.
It's a lot of weeds. I see some little buckwheats.
Oh,
Is that it?
There's going to be everything in there.
Oh, wow.
But the machine cleans all this out in one pass.
That's pretty cool.
All the other machines that I have to run through, I mean, it just does a fantastic job. Because each machine after this cleans it better and better and better. It's all kind of dependent upon the machine that it runs before it.
That's true. Yeah. Well,
they just run
that's
better.
That's awesome. That definitely makes my day, make my work easier and inspiring me and all our team, Metra team, to work better, to develop better product. And definitely thank you so much for your advices.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
I like it. It works great.
And good luck with your brand, with your development. Anything we can do, we're here to help. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Awesome. I will definitely show that setup to our engineers.
By the way.
Yeah, because we direct sell from the factory. We are factory affiliated company.
Yeah.
So basically we are capable to influence how the machine gonna look like in a year or so. So definitely we can present that to our engineers and make that improvement. I think that's a good setup.